Hello and welcome to the cast I'm going to be doing. Starting off on the blue side we have DarkHero playing as the Chaos Sorcerer, and on the red side we have Rataxas playing as the Force Commander. Map is going to be Ash the Typhon, and starting off we have Rataxas, who's opening up with double scouts instead of going for scout attack, which you also see, but the double scout should actually give him a slight advantage in early map control, and then he gets his attacks out following the double scouts. Scouts not as effective in fights compared to attacks, but these scouts, because of how big the map is, you're not actually going to run into a fight for quite some time, so double scout should get him to secure all the points on this map. Ashes of Typhon. Double heretics for DarkHero as well, standard builds for both players, just a slightly different build style from Rataxas in the sense of scouts before attacks. So, slowly both players capping all of their stuff outside of their base. None of the contested points are actually capped yet. The power in the center and this VP remain neutral, but we do have some scouts and CSM who are going to meet each other here. Scouts will get forced away here, and CSM should start capping, or heretics will start capping under support from CSM, but Tax and Force Commander are also on their way, so we'll have our first engagement here. Kraken bolts activated on those tactical marines. Those Tax will beat out those CSM by a bit with those Kraken rounds, doing extra damage to heavy infantry. Force Commander is here as well. Heretics are stealthily gaining here. We have some very fast grenade launches here from DarkHero. Tax gonna get forced away here, and these grenade launch heretics are already on 4 models, but that's all you need. The grenade launchers, tactical marine model does go down. Grenade launchers trying to fire at some scouts actually end up missing. Scouts are a bit too quick and quite difficult to actually hit. And Force Commander is alone here, almost fighting some heretics, fighting the Sorcerer. Grenade barrage going down. We do actually have a fast sergeant on these scouts as well. Some very fast upgrades instead of a tier 1.5 unit here from both players. It looks like DarkHero will win this fight, only having to send back his heretics to base, but we do actually have some sneaky scouts here from Rataxas capping the VP over here as well. Tax coming back our base, reinforced to 3 models now. We're on 2 models earlier, and Sorcerer is still in the area as well on the CSM and these grenade launcher heretics. These CSM do need to be careful, they're on quite low health and they might lose a model here if they're not careful. They do lose a model. Those Kraken Bolt tactical marines are just going to be too much for them to handle when they're only on 400 HP. Grenade launcher heretics do need to be careful, only on 4 models, that's all you need for the grenade launchers. Any extra model is armed with an auto rifle. However, much easier to wipe their heretic squad when it's only on half the amount of models. But we'll get some shots onto some tactical marines. Grenade barrage does go off. We'll catch out 2 of the models and do have the heretics back in the way. They cannot stand up in a straight up fight against these tanks whatsoever, and tanks will just constantly try and walk up to them if they try to fire their grenade barrage from a distance. So we do actually have some Havocs coming in now, and a second set of Havocs coming in as well for DarkHero. Does have them on the purchase queue, and those tanks getting suppressed, but some scouts coming in for a flank could throw a grenade onto these Havocs. Havocs are already tearing down those, so they will actually be able to dodge this grenade. In fact, they won't even get knocked over either. Heretics do bleed a model, might bleed a second, do need to be careful. Do retreat back to base. The second set of Havocs are coming out, and do have some ASM coming in here for Rataxas. And the double Havocs might be kind of annoying to deal with. Even with ASM, double Havocs, you can layer the suppression up and keep the melee heretics between the double Havocs, so you're actually ready to fight the ASM when they jump in. But we'll see. We do actually have the Scout Sergeant as well, so you can always use that to get rid of the initial Havoc squad. Since there's no detection right now, you can always get the elite training, stealth in, get rid of the Havoc squad, and let the ASM deal with the second Havoc squad. These tactical marines having to back away here. No Doom Blast is getting used here. Not really worth it if you're not going to get attack model. But ASM's coming in here, shotguns onto these scouts as well. And the Sorcerer will get forced away here. Shotgun blast looks like it was already used since these scouts are low on energy. And do actually have a little bit of a push mid onto this contested VP. Meanwhile, some scouts over here with their sergeant. You need to be careful with the double Havocs here. We'll actually throw a grenade. Grenade might get dodged here. doesn't actually get dodged. The Havocs weren't able to tear down quick enough, and will lose 2 models because of it. Now these other Havocs are going to move up. Heretics are going to move towards the contested side as well, and the CSM will cap this contested power node. ASMs remain uncontested though onto this left hand side on the VP of Dark Heroes, and these scouts look like they are fully upgraded. No elite training yet, can tell by the amounts of health regen and energy regen. It is just at a standard amount right now. I could see these shotgun blasts and let the Force Commander deal with it. Although shotgun blast might be on cooldown, these were the scouts that were on the left hand side before. Force Commander does land special. Doombolts coming in will land on these scouts, but not doing high amounts of damage. Grenade will not get thrown, actually gets cancelled at the last second. The CSM is going to be too far away. ASMs do jump onto the retreat path of this CSM, but I think they're actually jumping after these Havocs, but the Havocs are blindly just going forward, not caring whatsoever. But they do need to be a bit careful here. They are getting a bit low. Trying to wait for some other Havocs to come in here. Sorcerer with the Sword of Flame as well, taking down a scout model. ASM's jumping once again, scouts with a grenade ready for these Havocs if they do set up. But the melee Heretics though, with the Aspiring Champion, will be fighting these ASMs. Needs to be careful about the friendly fire damage though from these grenade launcher Heretics as well. Force Command now on the face of these Havocs, and these melee Heretics now after these Tactical Marines, who are going to get forced away here. Looks like they will not lose a model though, they will go quite low. But not bleeding a model. ASM getting retreated quite early here. Don't want to lose a model on them either. They do cost power when reinforcing them as well. And Havocs have been set up now very close to DarkHero's base, so Havocs do have time to set up. VPs 304 to 500 as well. DarkHero 200 VPs down nearly already. We need to start making a bit more of a focus on it. We do actually have an extra generator getting built here for Rataxas, so his power income is going to be quite high right now. DarkHero does actually have his loaded, but no extra generator. But Rataxas will be the first player to tier 2. DarkHero shouldn't be too far behind though. He's on 110 power, does have enough requisition already to tech up as well. The shotgun scouts doing quite a lot of damage there to the Sorcerer. Don't even lose a model. There's still no elite training on them by the looks of it. Elite training on top of granting the ability to actually infiltrate does actually give you health and energy regen when outside of combat. Quite a lot of health and energy regen in fact. Lead suppression is ready. ASMs jump onto the back line. Scouts trying to move up to the front line. ASM model does go down. These scouts are going to get forced away. DoomBoS onto these tactical marines as well. And these double Havocs will be fine. Sorcerer trying to take down this generator with that Sword of Flame. The damage over time does actually affect generators, not that you really need it on generators, but you can actually see the damage over time working there on that bottom right corner. It's actually doing quite a lot of damage to this generator by itself, to be fair. And a fast Razorback is going to be choice for Rataxas, and Razorbacks, you need to be very careful when purchasing a Razorback against the Sorcerer. If the Sorcerer has the Vestments of Warp, he can just teleport on top of the Razorback and warp in AV on top of the Razorback, such as Plague Marines or even Last Cannon, Auto Cannon Havocs. But it makes it a bit more difficult to keep your Razorback alive against the Sorcerer. That's only if they have the Vestments of Warp. Otherwise, yeah, the Sorcerer is going to have to walk up to the Razorback, and you can just prevent that from happening to stop him from warping anything in on top of it. And also, Havocs do remain set up when you use the Warp Global compared to, well, also with the Sigil Rift as well, you can actually, Havocs do remain set up when teleporting. Something to keep in mind. Could have some retreat grenades though here. Both of the scouts are throwing grenades, in fact. We'll pop that Chaos Sorcerer there, so no need to worry about stuff warping in on there unless it's going to be hanging around in this area for a long time. Tactical Marines quite low here though, on 3 models, but on less than 400 HP teleports pack for the Force Commander, and that's in response to the double Havocs on the field. ASM can tie up one while the Force Commander can tie up the other, and these scouts don't need to buy the elite training to get up to the face of these Havocs anymore. Smoke is getting drops onto the Razorback. VP is still 200 VP difference, although the gap is getting wider and wider as it's nearly a triple cap, and there's now a triple cap here for attacks as scouts moving forward. Do need to be careful. Also Cannon Havocs here as well for DarkHero. and they retreat here. We do actually have the demonic summoning bloodless popping out this circle here. Can also reinforce on it as well. And do you actually see the heretics are back up to full models from reinforcing on the demonic summoning. But DarkHero lacking map control at the moment. Does need to gain some of that back. Razorback trying to get melee down by some heretics here. Melee damage not being the best solution to a Razorback, but does a lot better compared to piercing or any other types of range damage. That isn't really meant for AV. Horse Cannon is set up. Plague Marine's moving forward as well. Horse Cannon will have vision. If the Plague Marine can slow the vehicle, it might go down. Razorback barely surviving here, only on 50 HP, and Razorback's trying to move forward. Is getting repaired up by these double scouts. ASM with a sergeant, and the Aspiring Champion Heretics are pushing in here. The Orsa Cannon Havocs are getting tied up though by that by that Power Fist on the Force Commander. Grenade Launcher Heretics are firing away at the Force Commander. He's on the move, so he's actually dodging most of the attacks here. Looks like the Sergeant is still alive here, but ASMs do need to back away as they do lose 2 models, but that Power Fist on the Force Commander will hurt quite a lot. Chaos Sorcerer has been repurchased here for DarkHero, and DarkHero still getting lower on VPs, 148 to 460. Will be a double cap soon, but actually no, the Force Commander's actually decapped the contested VP, so it's going to be a 1-1 cap again. No Orsa Cannon on these Havocs, they are just remaining as they are with their standard heavy bolts, and we actually have Stern Guards coming in instead of the regular Tactical Marines. Take it, Rataxas actually went for Stern Guards just because its Tactical Marines were not leveled. It's normally when you do see them. But normally if your Tactical Marines are leveled slightly, then you'll see them not upgraded to Stern Guards. And usually just drop pod in a fresh new squad and upgrade that new Tactical Marine squad into the Stern Guards. Scouts making their way through mid. You know, our DarkHero is actually making his way to the right hand side of the map, Razorback, and most of the army of Rataxas here on the left hand side. Razorback doesn't actually have anything inside of it, it's just driving around as it is. Could put some units in just to let them move around a bit more quicker. Looks like DarkHero is going to carry on pushing while Rataxas actually takes a bit more of a defensive stance. We're going through mid here. Defensive position. We do actually have some smoke getting dropped. Force Commander goes in onto that suppression team of Havocs. ASM going to jump in onto the Orsa Cannon squad. Havocs getting quite low here on one model. The Force Commander, it looks like it might get him. Does land a special. The special does miss though. Orsa Cannons do need to reset up. Slaughter on these CSM. Not equipping their chainswords though, sticking with their ranged weapons. ASM do need to be careful. In fact, they do have their chainswords out now though. These ASMs do need to be careful. They do have enough energy for a jump. They're not jumping. In fact, they actually retreat. That's a bit of a mistake there for Rataxas. He should have jumped out instead of trying to retreat through a squad of heretics and CSM. And ASMs will go down. Plague Marines barely reinforcing there on that demonic summoning, still only on 2 models. Sternguard's trying to force as much melee as they can, but the Razorback looks like it will actually get away. The Plague Marines land a missile, will slow the Razorback a little bit. It does have the reinforced armor plate and is level 3 as well, so it does actually have an extra 84 HP. The Scouts coming in for some support as well. This Razorback is 2 shots away from dying, and more smoke getting dropped down, making it even harder for this to actually kill. We do actually have the rest of the army here for DarkHero coming in, but no AV other than these Plague Marines. These Plague Marines are going to have to back away here. That Razorback is just going to remain alive. CSM could potentially melee down the Razorback if they really tried. But we do actually have an Orsa Cannon. Orsa Cannon's firing at the Scouts though, it's not firing at the Razorback. If it was firing on the Razorback, it would have got some rear armor hits, would have killed the Razorback in fact. That Force Commander with that Power Fist coming back into the fight here, absolutely tearing the Sorcerer a new one. The amount of damage that actually does is quite insane. Scouts having to retreat through some heretics here. CSM will be able to finish those off. They force melee. CSM are not forcing melee, they do actually kill it with range fire. Plague Marines were warped in by the global warp ability from the Sorcerer. Even though he is on retreat, does actually get him close enough to kill that Razorback there. Orsa Cannon was also in position, but I don't know if it actually had the firing, if it could actually see it, the line of firing line of sight. And Rataxas is actually down to Scouts, P-Devs, and his Force Commander, he does have a massive VP lead by over 400 in fact, 53 VPs to 460, so he has time to rebuild his army. He is also tier 2, has a lot of power stored up. Power is not really an issue, requisition is more of an issue. He does have 400 saved up, but we'll need more of it. It does have a rec income of 350, mainly due to the lack of upkeep, but also, in fact actually it's just mainly due to the lack of upkeep, but he also has this fully matured requisition down here as well, which is helping out. However, that will get decapped, and once that does, that will put a small dent into his economy. So Rataxas opts to repurchase his ASM first. Tactical Marine drop pod might not be such a bad idea right now. Repurchase some tanks just to go around the map and bolster his own army. But still have some shotgun scouts here on the field. P-devs are still coming out of base. Actually no, they're set up on the contested, or on the natural VP in fact. Rataxas, the Orcs Cannon will force out these scouts. Scouts do lose a model here. Heretics will cap the scouts. We're trying as long as they could to prevent them from capping. And Rataxas just needs to try and focus on that VP bleed. DarkHero only on 53, meanwhile he's on 430. If he can even stay on a 1 to 2 cap for as long as he can, he should be able to reinforce his entire army. While DarkHero's he's on 70 population right now, and he does actually need to reinforce some of the models here. But DarkHero can't actually reinforce the army that much more. So maybe Rataxas can go for a tier 3 and go for some Terminators. Actually, I think it might be a mistake. He doesn't actually gain bash, so he could actually go tier 3 and do something like that. He does also have quite a lot of red. But Bloodletter's coming out for DarkHero now. Bloodletter's a very good choice. We'll fighting some ASM, doesn't actually have much to fight the ASM. I've done the Sorcerer, the Sword of Flame, and the Heretics with the Aspiring Champion. So some Bloodletters under Worship will destroy these ASM in fact, and they'll also be good for jumping onto these P-devs as well, since they can sit back quite far. Bloodletters actually do have quite a large teleport range. These P-devs actually do have another model ready to go, but left base a little bit too early, so they have one model ready to go, but don't actually have it with the squad. Heretics staying up on the contested VP along with the autocannon, Havocs, and some CSM here. CSM repurchasing their Aspiring Champion, done quite a lot of work earlier, especially with the chain swords, killing those ASM earlier, and also Slaughter doing the extra range damage to the ASMs before they retreated away. In that fight where Rataxas lost quite a lot. Plague Marine's kind of blindly walking here. There's Plasma Dev set up as well. And you do see the ASM backing away, getting ready for that P-Dev shot, which will knock the Plague Marines away, and trying to move away from that P-Dev shot so it doesn't actually do any friendly fire damage. Aspiring Champion Heretics here, trying to fight the ASM, but Merciless Strike does land perfectly onto the squad here. ASM getting Doom Blast once again, will actually be forced away here. Shotgun Blast does come in. In fact, the ASM might have been able to stay in there with that Shotgun Blast helping out. They decide to back away. It looks like we have Bloodletters coming in though, no Worship available. There are Grenade Launcher Heretics nearby, but they're not actually close enough to worship. They should be worshipping these Bloodletters, especially while fighting the Force Commander with his Power Fist. Force Commander's really after these CSM, could probably just fight these Bloodletters. Bloodletters are half health already. Force Commander will teleport away. Model does go down on the CSM. The Aspiring Champion is still alive, and it looks like DarkHero is actually going to just cap this power farm instead of destroying it. 31 VPs to 376. DarkHero has bled a small amount of VPs, and here is Worship for the Bloodletters now. DarkHero is actually capping the generator farm. P-Devs did go down in that engagement as well. Attacks are still down to just 2 units. It is tier 3 though. Could call in some Terminators in a second. Only 25 requisition away. And DarkHero should maybe just double up on Bloodletters if Terminators do get called in. Bloodletters do so well against heavy infantry and super heavy infantry. 45 power melee DPS per model. In fact, they're actually warping here. Going to go after these ASM. Needs to move towards the ASM though. But some Terminators, ranged Terminators in fact. Probably a better choice than the Assault Terminators. Ranged Terminators with their Heavy Flamer will actually do quite decently against Bloodletters, with some extra support from ASM. So actually maybe the double Bloodletters will be a mistake from DarkHero. Double Bloodletters, if you get the Heavy Flamer, you just use the ability where you can actually cast a fire onto the ground. I can't remember the name of it. But if you use that ability on your Terminators, Bloodletters, even with Worship, will not be able to stand up to that much AoE, and then the ASM with the Merciless Strike to just knock over the Bloodletter so they can't actually attack for a couple of seconds will be enough to actually force them away. And I actually had someone who went double Bloodletters against my ranged Terminators last night, so it does do quite well. We actually have a Orbital Bombardment going down here. We'll kill that Chains of Torment and we'll scratch these Plague Marines as well. That nuke really didn't catch out much there. DarkHero still moving around the map here with the Sorcerer. Him and his Heretics are a little bit low here. Grenade Launch Heretics are nearby. Heretics are actually going to retreat away. I think they're scared of a shotgun blast, which they do actually have enough energy for. Level 4 Heretics, level 4 Scouts, sorry, on 150 energy here. Trying to run away. Still no elite training on them by the looks of it. Their health regen doesn't seem very... Their health regen isn't as high as it would be if they did have the elite training. But 23 VPs to 252. DarkHero is bleeding some VPs here. His 2-to-1 cap does need to be very careful here. He is so low on VPs. The Force Commander is coming in here. If he has Battlecry, he could actually knock away these Bloodletters, but he doesn't. The Force Commander himself now needs to be careful. Bloodletters actually start attacking him as well. The Force Commander could go down here, he's quite low. Plague Marines focus him down with the damage over time bolsters, or if Bloodletters actually teleport again, they do actually have enough to walk once again. Dark Flames on retreat though. Force Commander just walks through it, he does not care about Dark Flames at all. But these Terminators do need to be a bit careful. Can't retreat unlike Granite Terminators, so you need to be a bit more careful about them when sending them all the way over to DarkHero's natural VP. But the Sorcerer did actually go down here. Plague Marines really need to be careful, they really do poorly against Terminators. And do actually have these ASMs upgraded into Vanguard Veterans, a good choice, considering they were a brand new ASM. Merciless Strike does go down to try and knock away these Plague Marines, but it was not actually close enough for the Merciless Strike to hit the model that was capping, that actually just caught out one of the other models. To actually have the Marvel Zinc CSM as well. Very nice choice against these Terminators. Bloodletters do need to be a bit careful though, they're extremely low, 150 HP. We do see the phase shift getting used there, and they will actually be able to get out there with 2 models. Do need to go back to base and reinforce and get some Heretics to actually worship them back up to full health, since they are demonic, these Terminators, sorry. Yeah, we do need to teleport away. Down to half health here, 2250. You need to be a bit careful. Force Commander here, able to be a one-man army though, with that Power Fist, level 5 as well, teleports pack, Artificer's armor, he is fully kitted out. And these Heretics will not be able to stand up against him. If he is going to actually retreat away there, as the Autocannon Havoc do set up. 15 VPs to 214. Scouts trying to come in here, fight some Plague Marines, not doing enough damage. Vanguard Veterans and some more ASMs in fact coming in here for Rataxas. CSM doing quite a lot of damage here to these Vanguards. Vanguards do jump in onto these Autocannon Havocs. Another set of Autocannon Havocs in fact. Bloodletters are here though. After these Scouts, the Vanguards do need to turn around though and actually join the rest of the fight, focus down the CSM. Will help out these standard ASMs that are actually doing quite poorly against these Bloodletters with their power melee. Terminators actually did lose a model here as well, down to 2 models. Still no weapon upgrade on them either. Does actually have enough power as well to upgrade to a new weapon. And I really do think that a Heavy Flamer would be a good choice against these Bloodletters and even against Plague Marines, since they're just infantry. And Heavy Flamer just does so much damage. Considering DarkHero, his only melee is Heretics and Bloodletters, the Heavy Flamer will just really shut down any kind of melee that DarkHero has. And now that his Vanguard veterans and his ASM actually focus down these ranged squads with ease. Grenade Barrage actually going to stop these Vanguard veterans from focusing down these Plague Marines on retreat. They will get away just fine. They're on 400 HP anyway. Horse Cannon Havoc's trying to set up once again. Will actually focus down these Vanguard veterans. Good choice. But they're still capping 15 VPs to 116. Rataxas is getting quite low on VPs. He has been losing a lot of VPs over the time, but Predator has come out though, and I'm not sure how well this Predator will do considering that Power Fist on the Force Commander, and considering these ASMs could actually upgrade to a Melter Bomb. There goes the Flesh over Steel ability. Predator is stunned, he is getting rear armor hits as well. Bloodletter's teleporting onto these ASMs. Contested VP belongs to DarkHero. It's a 2-to-1 cap. DarkHero on 4 VPs is going to be very close. Bloodletters are getting a decap though, and barely gets the decap. Is 1-to-1 cap right now. 1 VP to 112. Bloodletters are able to do this. This VP remains DarkHero's. Also cannons are set up here as well to protect it. This VP though is the target for DarkHero right now. Not going to be a 2-to-1 cap against Rataxas. Terminators decide to upgrade to the Cyclone missile launcher. This is in response to seeing the Predator, I'd imagine. But Predator does need to actually get repaired up. It is getting repaired up as well. No upgrade onto this Predator that I can see. Mark of Corn Predator could be quite good here. Mark of Nurgle, none of the Space Marine army is vulnerable really to the AoE damage, and Mark of Zinc is more for AV rather than anti-infantry. Plague Marines look like they will go down here. They are quite low, will go down here. Tries to get a decap there. Plague Marines aren't really needed at this point in the game. They don't do well against ASM, Terminators or Commanders as such. So they were fine to get rid of, although DarkHero doesn't look like he's actually got anything to replace them with immediately. Could actually get a second set of Bloodletters though, still. Especially considering he's got a Cyclone missile launcher instead of a heavy flamer on those Terminators. But these Bloodletters do need actually some worship support. There are Heretics here, and he's keeping his Heretics in melee, and I think he should just be worshipping Bloodletters. Predator looks like it will go down here. Melter Bomb onto the Predator will be enough damage to actually take it down. Scouts are getting a decap as well. Still a 1-to-1 cap. They actually get a decap, but they're not able to actually cap it. To actually have the demonic summoning. So many Bloodletters on the field right now. Bloodletters are going to walk forward, could finish off those scouts, going after these Terminators instead. Heretics should just go and cap and let the Bloodletters fight the Terminators, but instead everything's just going to go after these Terminators. Sorcerer then maybe should go for the VP. I think should go for the VP. VPs are just as important as killing these Terminators right now. 1 to 66 Terminators will lose 1 model. Heretics are still trying to chase. Bloodletters actually phase shift there, and Terminators will need to remain in base for quite some time and regain their health. Bloodletters actually don't have any worship near them right now. Heretics are on the other side of the map, and the melee Heretics are in retreat here. Shotgun blast onto the Chaos Sorcerer. Bloodletters do need to be careful here, very low. In fact, they could go down here. Vanguard Barons could turn around. Force Commander could also turn around. Bloodletters will get away though with 1 model. Still level 1 surprisingly. Also Cannon Havoc's getting tied up here by some ASM. Force Commander is also here as well. Power Fist taking down a model at a time as they try and get away. Their special going off though. And it's currently a 2-to-1 cap, 1 to 20 VPs. DarkHero is somehow still in this game after being on 50 VPs or less for the majority of the game. Also Cannon setting up Vanguard Varans though, getting a decap here. Mark of Zinc CSM do actually have a subjugate on the Chaos Sorcerer to stop them from capping, and it's a 1 to 10 VPs. Grenade gain thrown onto the Chaos Sorcerer is able to move out in time, so the subjugation does run out. Scouts are coming in for the decap. Dark Flames going down, Doombolt's going down. These scouts really doesn't want them to actually cap, and it is actually going to be a 1-2-1 cap. He does get the decap in time. Scouts will go down. They're desperate. Terminators coming in though. Bloodletters, also Cannon, Havocs, and Heretics are here, but Vanguards are tearing them up, and it looks like DarkHero is sending everything to actually just go after these Terminators. The also Cannon, Havocs will need to back away. Heretics stop worshipping here. They try and jump into the fight. Terminators still getting the cap, and it looks like the Terminators will get the cap. Merciless Strike knocks back these Heretics. Bloodletters are not doing enough damage here. Terminators actually get a cap. Blood Crusher coming in, but the cap is all that Rataxas needs, and Rataxas will actually win the game by 1 VP after losing his entire army at one point in the game. Will actually have enough VPs in the bank to actually make a turnaround here, and that will be game.